Step 1. Setup. First, each player selects a cult. Then, give each player a player reference sheet, victory reference sheet, 8 cult tokens, 3 mine tokens, 3 lumber tokens, and 12 8mm cubes. Players then receive 12 archers, 12 swordsmen, 12 spearmen, 10 cavalry, 5 trebuchets, 5 tassels. Step 2. Prepare the play area. Place 12 burial tokens, the first player card, and the advisor token next to the board. Next, place 6 quarries, 5 pastures, a raised tracker, and 2 black 8mm cubes, and a plague tracker and 2 black 8mm cubes. Step 3. Shuffle and set out the Councilor deck, Covenant deck, Cult Victory deck, Omen deck, and 4 investment cards. Place the gold and silver coins, dice, and blue, red, green, and white counters, raised tokens, bridge pieces, wall pieces, and hourglass tokens where they are reachable by all players. Next, set out 60 settlement tokens. To determine play order, each player rolls a die. If the result is tied, re-roll until there is one winner. That player becomes the first player and receives the first player card. Starting with the first player and proceeding clockwise, each player places 1 burial token on an empty burial site indicated by the white skull icons. Continue until 12 have been placed. Note that there are more burial sites than burial tokens available. Starting with the first player, each player draws 2 tall victory cards. If the Supreme Leader card is drawn in a 4-player game, discard it and draw a new card. Choose 1 card to keep and return the other to the deck. Once per game and at any time, a player can choose to reform. To do so, discard the current Cult Victory card and draw 1 new card to keep. Next, starting with the first player, each player chooses 1 settlement hex and places 1 Tier 3 settlement token on it in bear token color. This will be their starting settlement. Then, each player chooses a start option. In this example, the raft player chose 2 spearmen, 7 coins, and a bridge. Place any starting units on the starting settlement. The red raft player places 2 spearmen, 1 spearman pawn, and 1 white counter on their starting settlement. Note, there are 4 different counters: white, 1, green, 3, red, 5, blue, 10. The pawn also counts towards the stack count. This should be 2, 4, 6, and 11 archers respectively. Next, players will claim the remaining settlements. The count changes depending on the number of players. In a 4-player game, each player will claim 6 settlements, 5 plus the starting settlement. Select any empty settlement hex, then roll a die to determine if it is a Tier 1, Tier 2, or Tier 3 settlement. If the result is a 1 or 2, it is a Tier 1 settlement. If the result is a 3 or a 4, it is a Tier 2 settlement. If the result is a 5 or 6, it is a Tier 3 settlement. Once 10 settlements of any tier have been placed, place the next tier pattern of settlement in its place. For example, assume 10 Tier 3 settlements have already been placed and a 5 is rolled. In this case, a Tier 2 settlement will be placed instead. Settlements can be placed on any empty settlement hexes. Continue clockwise, placing settlements until all players have claimed the amount of settlements indicated in the rulebook. There will always be 6 unclaimed settlements at the start. Next, determine each player's starting income. Add all settlement tiers together to get their total income. In this case, the red player's income is 12 coins. Use the settlement tracker on your victory reference sheet to track your settlements. Use the income tracker to track your total income. Gameplay. Round 1. Income phase. Each player collects coins equal to their total income, including any coins from any embezzle actions. Players add the coins to their treasury. Council phase. Starting with the first player, each player draws 3 councilor cards. Councilors have different attributes: type, name, phase that their bonus activates in, and councilor bonus. Each player chooses 2 councilor cards to keep. These make up their personal retinue. These bonuses only affect you. Return remaining councilors to the bottom of the deck. Next, form the General Council. To do so, draw 3 additional councilors. Players will vote using 8mm cube vote tokens to determine the advisor. The adviseer bonus benefits all players. Starting with the first player, each player must vote at least once, but can vote any amount of tokens up to their max. Continue until all votes have been cast. See rulebook to break ties. The councilor with the most votes becomes the adviseer. Players can choose to bribe any councilor in the general council. It costs 10 coins to attempt to bribe. A player must replace the bribed councilor with a councilor from their personal retinue. Any other player may counter the bribe by offering at least one additional coin. Players can continue to counter bribe until no one else increases the bribe. In this case, the red player was the bribe with 12 coins. All coins offered as bribes are lost, including those from the player that lost the bribe. In this example, red bribes the adviseer and replaces them with their councilor, who becomes the new adviseer. Return the remaining councilors to the bottom of the deck. At the beginning of the next round, all councilors are returned to the deck and the deck is shuffled. There are a large variety of councilors whose bonus activates in different phases. Councilors whose bonuses activate in the income and council phase occur immediately after election. Action and build phase bonuses occur in later stages. In this example, Amir and Cyprian both have bonuses but activate in the council phase. On our turn, we draw 2 covenant cards from Amir's bonus and choose one to keep. Covenant cards are kept secret and can be played at any time. Some covenants remain in play. Others trigger and are returned to the bottom of the deck. If a card goes against the rulebook, follow the text on the card. These should be kept face down. Return the other card to the bottom of the deck. Draw a new card for Cyprian's bonus and keep it. Action phase. Each unit may move and take one action, such as attack, siege, volley, capture, or raise. Most units move 1 hex by default. Stacks of units may be split into multiple adjacent hexes. Cavalry can move up to 2 hexes by default. Note, when crossing bridges, units cannot move diagonally. Instead, they must move straight across the bridge. Units can stop on bridges. If units have remaining movement after they attack and defeat the target, they may finish their movement onto the adjacent hex. Units may capture adjacent buildings such as lumber mills, quarries, pastures, and mines. A player can remove the building or replace it with their own building of the same type. Units may capture or loot and raise opposing settlements. To raise a settlement, move a unit onto the settlement and place a raise token on the settlement. The player that raises a settlement gains coins equal to the amount on the raise, loot, and repair table. When moving to capture a burial token, remove the token and draw a face-up omen card. During combat, each player rolls a number of dice equal to the number of units in a combat. In this example, the white player rolls 3 dice for their swordsman. The swordsmen need a roll of 3+ to hit the spearmen because they have a bonus versus spearmen. In this case, they scored 2 hits. The 2 red spearmen rolled defensive hits. They have no bonus, so must roll a 4+ the hit, and they luckily score 2 hits. Both red units are removed, but they took down 2 of white units with them. If red had surviving units, white could choose to roll again with the remaining swordsmen. In this example, the gray archers choose to volley the yellow cavalry. Volley can hit units 2 hexes away, but only succeeds on a roll of 6. So these are both misses, but the cavalry doesn't roll defensive hits. Alternatively, the archer can move and attack, hitting on a 4+. Dang, 2 misses. Luckily, the cavalry, which hit archers on a 3+, misses as well. Like archers with volley, trebuchets can siege up to 2 hexes away, but hit on a 5+. For example, the yellow trebuchet is targeting red's lumber mill, which is destroyed and removed on a roll of 5. Siege actions can also target other units, but it's a miss. Walls only provide bonuses in the direction they are facing. In this example, the gray archer gets bonuses versus the cavalry, but not either spearman. Note, at the end of each action phase, check for a supremacy victory. In a 4-player game, a player needs 11 settlements to win. Build phase. Players may spend all, some, or none of their coins. All costs are on the player reference sheet. In this example, Sahar is the advisor, so all players gain a free trebuchet to place. The red player can choose to buy a lumber mill for 5 coins and place on any legal forest hex. The first time a lumber mill, vine, quarry, or pasture is built, draw an omen card. Use the tracker on your victory reference sheet to record this action. Max unit stack on any hex is 16, which is 15 plus the pod. Check for cult victory at the end of every build phase. Lastly, return all current councilors to the deck and shuffle. That's it. It is time to begin the next round. Now you know how to play without our king. Thanks for watching, and you can find out more info and learn about our other products at frontierwargames.com.
From ashes of a fallen throne, our kingdom say is still unknown. Will you lead with steel and grace, or let the darkness take its place? Through conquest or through ancient wars, secure the throne forevermore.